Are you feeling overwhelmed or lost in direction as far as what to talk about before saying I do? Stick around and watch this video where I cover 5 discussions to have before marriage. Hey, I'm Chantel Caraway, licensed marriage and family therapist, and welcome to the Couples Club, a space where I share education and skills for couples in romantic relationships. So you and your partner are engaged. Congratulations! Working on the next phase of your relationship can be exciting and rewarding in ways that are simply priceless. While you and your fiance have probably discussed many different aspects of your relationship before getting to this point, you may realize that you two are only scratching the surface of deeper discussions. Or it's possible that in your upbringing or current life, you have no marriage role models to get guidance or advice from, and you worry about all the things that you just do not know about. Today, I will share with you 5 discussions to have before marriage and provide you with some examples that will support you and your fiance in your future discussions. The first big discussion to have before marriage is lifestyle. Where do you want to live geographically? What are important aspects of your community that you would like to have access to? Community centers or parks, lakes, mountains, arenas? How do you want your home to look and feel? Does privacy or yard space matter to you? What do you want your daily life to look like? These are some important questions for you and your fiance to explore together. These questions can help you both determine if you have a similar vision for the future. The second discussion to have before marriage is a big topic, and that is children. As I said before, this is probably one of the biggest discussions to have before marriage, and it's probably because you can't quite compromise on this one. You either want to have children or you don't. With either choice that you make, it's a life-changing decision for both you and your fiance. If you choose to have children, consider talking to your fiance about important roles, options, and responsibilities. Are you both interested in having your own biological children, or do you want to adopt? Or are you forming a blended family where either one or both partners are bringing children into the relationship? If you are forming a blended family, what role will your fiance play in disciplining your biological children, for example? And vice versa. What are important family traditions to you that you would like to incorporate or create with your fiance in your future relationship together? On the other hand, if you do not want children, but you still find it valuable to stay connected to children to some degree, there are other possibilities. For instance, you may consider becoming a mentor within your local community, becoming a youth leader at church, if of course you are part of a local church, coaching youth sports, or even volunteering for youth events. Of course, if you have a larger family that includes children, you could always form positive connections with them as well. The third discussion to have before marriage is about pets. If you want to be a pet household, taking care of your pet's needs will be an important factor within your lifestyle. Since pets are generally home for the majority of their lifespan, think about important places and spaces that best support their overall health and wellness. Is there a veterinarian or an emergency pet hospital nearby? If you are unable to take them with you on vacations and trips, do you have people within your personal network that you can count on to take care of them while you are away? Or are there local businesses like pet daycares, for example, that you trust within your local community and can count on to take care of them while you are away and until you return to pick them up? Is your shared home or neighborhood pet friendly? Do you have enough income that factors into buying their food or supporting any potential medical expenses? Or to get even more self-reflective, do you have the time and emotional capacity to love, nurture, and care for another living thing? At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with you if you choose to not have pets in your home. Overall, the goal here is to be honest about whether or not the lifestyle that you and your fiance are creating includes space for managing pets and pet care. The fourth discussion is about family. Earlier, I mentioned children and pets, but that was more about your new family unit with you and your partner. Now, I am talking about the family that you come from, also known as your family of origin. Are your parents or caregivers still alive? Do you have any siblings, or are you an only child? How close are you to your immediate family? And how significant of a position do you anticipate that they will have in your life after you get married? And on the other hand, how significant of a position do you anticipate that you will have in their lives after you get married? For example, are you one of the go-to people for organizing family events from your family of origin? Or do they count on you to make the mac and cheese for all the holidays and special events? On the other hand, if you don't have any close relationships with your immediate family, do you have any close relationships with extended family members? Or what about any friends that you might consider your chosen family? Families can be so dynamic. So when you get married, two families are coming together to form an even larger family. But before you assume that the way you relate to your family is how your partner relates to their family, talk about it. And if you realize that you both have different approaches to spending time with your immediate families or families of origin, that's okay. The biggest thing here is ultimately whether or not you and your partner can make space for different realities to coexist in the same home. If you have different relationships with your families that you come from, how can you respect your partner's approach to how they spend time with their family, even if it differs from yours? That's the goal here. Now, of course, if maybe one partner spends way more time with their family of origin than the other partner, and that potentially causes tension, that would be another important topic for us to talk about. The fifth discussion to have before marriage is about finances. What are your short-term and long-term financial goals as a couple? Do you have any individual or joint debts? What are your plans to work towards eliminating those debts? Are you interested in having joint or separate bank accounts? Or are you considering having a combination of both joint and individual bank accounts? These are just some high-level logistics to consider, but they are not the only important aspect around discussing finances. You may not be aware of this, but you also have emotions connected to finances. Those emotions are shaped by what you have seen, heard, or experienced in relation to money and finances. How do you feel emotionally about finances? What does money represent to you? A means to pay for bills and needs, financial freedom, or opportunities or access to certain places and spaces in the world? Do you have any personal challenges or even positive perspectives about money that may be helpful for your fiance to know about? Again, these financial discussions are just the tip of the iceberg. Of course, you can always go deeper into each of these topics. Discussions to have before marriage are not limited to this list alone. In fact, I strongly anticipate that you may get a part 2 from me on this list in the future, because there are so many other examples that I could provide on discussions to have before marriage. Regardless of what discussions you may have had or plan to have together, I hope you know that there is no one generic model of what relationships should look like or feel like. Ultimately, discussions to have before marriage are important to help you make sure that both you and your fiance are on the same page. And I also don't want you to think that if you have as many discussions as you can have before marriage, and then you find that later down the line on the other side of marriage, you get stuck on something or you realize you haven't quite figured something out together, don't be discouraged. Instead, remember that as you get older and evolve, your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings about certain things may evolve as well. The same is also happening for your partner. It just means you both have an opportunity to get to know each other in a new way, from a new perspective, and maybe from a new set of beliefs. If you can think of some important discussions to have before marriage that I haven't mentioned, and you'd like to hear my take on those, drop it in the comments for me. Let me know what your experiences have been, or what you may have heard were important topics to have before marriage. If you found this video helpful, check out one of my previous videos. Thanks for watching, and I'm so happy to have you here. Take care.